Hello, students. Here we are for our next math lesson. So hopefully you guys have your math notebooks, your whiteboards, markers, and a pencil, something to write with. And we will go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to review is division as a fraction. So if you have 25 divided by 4, we've been talking a lot about this, make it a fraction. So go ahead and do that on your whiteboard real quick. And hopefully you wrote it like that, right? So we've got the numerator 25 divided by 4. 25 divided by 4. All right. Now if we had dots, if we had 14 dots and we were dividing them by 4, which means we're making 4 groups. Ask yourself, first of all, is that going to be equal or is it going to have a remainder? So if you have 14 nuts, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, we need 3 times 4 is 12, but we have 2 extra. So 2 becomes our remainder, or 2/4. Okay, so today we're going to use some of those skills to help us with the quotient. So remember, when we're finding the quotient, we're finding the answer to a division problem. We're using a double-digit divisor, and we're still talking about multiples of 10 with a multi-digit dividend. So we've got a big dividend, a 2-digit divisor that is a multiple of 10. And we're going to use partial quotients to solve these today. So when we ask you, what is division? What does it mean to divide? Go ahead and think about that for a second, what division is, what it means to divide. And hopefully you're thinking about equal groups. You're trying to, it's like repeated subtraction, but you're trying to find equal groups. And sometimes it's not always equal, and then that is when you have a remainder. So here we go. We're going to find the quotient with partial quotients of 2,467, and we're dividing by 20. Okay, so we're looking, how many groups of 20 can we make from this number? So let's set it up as a division problem. We want to look, 20 is our divisor, and we're going in here to 2,467. So that 2, we want to know the value of it. It's really worth what? 2,000, right? So we're thinking 2,000. So partial quotients. You're asking yourself, how many 20s can I take from 2,000? 100? So let's look. Remember when we do partial products and we do partial quotients, we need our parentheses. So 100 groups of 20 equals 2,000. So we know when we divide, we subtract. So when we take that away, we have 467 left. So can we take another 100 groups of 20 out of that 467? Nope, you can't. So let's think about what we can take. We can't take 100, but could we take 10? Think about what 10 times 20 is. Yeah, we could. 200, right? So if we take out 200, we're left with 267. Could we do that again? Could we take out another 200? Think about the value of that 2. We could again. So let's take out another 2. Now, we don't have 200 again to take away, so we have to take something much less than 10 groups of 20. Could we take one group of 20 out? We could. So let's take out 20. We have 47. We got to keep going. We're not there yet. Take out another 20. We're down to 27. We could take out another group of 20, and we're down to 7. So we've got to look how many groups we took. So when we add these up, 100 plus 10 plus 10 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 123. Now it's not exactly 123 because we have 7 left over. So we have a remainder of 7. Or instead of writing remainder 7, we can always do a fraction, which is 7/20. So we get 123, remainder 7, or 123 and 7/20. So take a look at that. Some of you might be thinking, well, we could do that a little bit faster. The answer is yes, we could take bigger groups. If you see, well, there's 20, 20, and 20. So if you knew 3 times 20 is 60, you could pull 60 out right away and shorten that up a little bit. So here's the thing with partial quotients. Not everybody is necessarily going to get to the end the exact same way, and that is okay. But you are always going to end up with the exact quotient. So the quotient will be always the same, but what you pull out each time may not be the same for you and your neighbor, or your partner, or your peer, or your classmate. But you have to think about what you can pull out. But right now we're going to stick with some easy numbers. We're going to stick with multiples of 10 until we get the hang of things. And then you guys can get a little more creative. So we can always check. Here's where our check gets a little bit tricky. We have to take our 123, multiply it by our 20, and then we should end up with this, but not quite. So let's look at this. We get 2,460. Is that what we started out with? No, but we also had a remainder of 7. So we need to add. So when you check, you multiply your whole number and your quotient by your divisor, and then you add your remainder, and that will give you back your dividend. Okay, so here's another one. Let's set this one up. 573 divided by 30. Okay, so now we've got to think. Our parentheses, we're taking out some kind of group of 30. So let's think how many we can pull out. Is 100 going to work? Is 10 going to work? What's going to be best? Hopefully you're thinking 10. So if we pull out 10 times 30 is 300. We're going to pull out 300, we subtract. Well, we can't pull out 10 again because we don't have 300 left. We're close, but we're not quite there. We could pull out 1. Looks like we might be here for a while, though. If we just keep pulling out 30, we could be here a while. With this, do you know anything? 3 times what is 15? 5. So could we pull out 5 groups of 30 here? We could. We could pull out 5 groups of 30, and that is 150, and we're left with 3. Can we take any more out of that 3? We can't take any more groups of 30 out of that 3. So we're going to add up our 10 plus our 1 plus our 1 plus our 1 plus our 1 plus our 5, and we're going to end up with 19, remainder 3, or 19 and 3/30, which could be simplified to 19 and 1/10. So when we check, we're going to multiply our 19 times our 30, and then we're going to add our remainder, and we end up with 573. And that is where we started. So again, right here, if you knew we couldn't pull out 10 because it's not quite 300, but you know it's somewhere less. So if you know some math facts, you can pull out more than that. All right, so I want you to try this problem. So set this up, 895 divided by 40, partial quotients. Go ahead and pause the video and do that on your whiteboard, please. Okay, here we go. Welcome back. So hopefully, the first thing, check your answer. Did you get 22 remainder 15? Remember, your remainder always needs to be less than your divisor. If you have more than what you're dividing by, then you have to pull more out. Now, you don't necessarily have to have these exact parentheses. It just depends what you pulled out. But these are easy numbers to work with, right? Tens and hundreds are easy numbers to work with. So we pulled out 400. It wasn't enough. Pulled out 400 again. Pulled out 40. Pulled out 40. And we're left with 15. Okay. So a remainder, oh, we just answered that. Could it ever be bigger than the divisor? No, it cannot. All right, you are going to try this one. So try one more for me. Set it up on your whiteboard, partial quotients. Think about multiples of 10. Pull things out. Pull out easy numbers. Go ahead and pause the video and do that. Okay, here we go. So hopefully you got 321 remainder 10 or 321 and 10 20ths. So easy numbers, we could pull out 2,000, 2,000 again, 2,000 again. Then we can pull out 200 and 220. And we are left with 10. So again, think about easy numbers that you can pull out, multiples of 10. We're not always going to work with multiples of 10 as our divisor. So we have to think about that. When we are pulling these out, remember that we need to add them up, and this gets us our quotient. And if there's anything left over that is smaller than your divisor, that becomes your remainder. So you guys are going to go ahead and get started on your problem set and your homework, and we will see you soon. Bye.